Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today we have Tom Doran, and he is going to be presenting on Outlook integration with NAV is finally here. And we just want to let you know that we do record all of our webinars, and so if you would like to go back to this at a later time, you're more than welcome to. It will be on our website later this week for you to review and share with any of your colleagues and friends. And then we do ask that if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them in the questions box, and we'll get them called out toward the end of the webinar. So now I'll turn it over to Tom, and he'll start our presentation.
Great. Thanks, Angie. So can everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right, great. So first, thanks everyone for taking time out to join us today. I don't expect that this is going to take a full hour, but I do want to make sure that I give you a good feel for some of the enhanced capabilities that Microsoft has developed with the Microsoft Outlook integration and our Dynamics NAV. They have been working on this over the past several years, and we have seen some significant improvement in the most recent release. And so let me get my GoToMeeting box out of here so I can see. So a couple of things going on. One is that they do some pre-formatting. So when I email, so you'll see I've got an email that has gone out to me from Jeff, and it talks about a sales quote. And so all of this is templated language. So you can build an email template. It will go out automatically. This isn't necessarily an Outlook piece, but they have significantly improved the standard attachments. For those of you that have been using NAV for a long time, when we would email our quotes, they looked almost embarrassing. So now this is standard right out of the box, looks just like this. So it's a much nicer attachment. And then the flip side is, you know, when a contact emails us and asks a question. And so in this case, I've got an email from a prospect, and they're asking me to update a sales quote, in this case 1003, and they want it to be 20 bikes. And so by clicking the document view, it automatically pops this quote open. It's going to validate, you know, that I have the ability to log into NAV. If I'm doing much more, you know, this might just be a quick update, and so I could scroll down. But in a lot of cases, I might want a little bit more real estate. Maybe I have a few more lines on my order, and so I want to have some room to work. And so now, right from my Outlook, I can begin to update my quote. I can look at any of the other information, but in this case, I can update my quantity to 20, just like he asked me to. Now, I was accused of fibbing or exaggerating just a bit, so I'm going to show you. So right now, I am not logged into NAV. You can see down here at the bottom, no login. So I'm going to go ahead and log into NAV, and we're going to go find this quote 1003. And so we'll give this just a second while that comes up. But as you can see, all those fields looked exactly like they would on the quote field inside of NAV. And there's my quote 1003. So we'll open that up so we can have a look. And you can see there that my quantity is 10. So I'll minimize this for a minute. And I'll update my quantity to 20, like Jeff asked me to in the quote. And so now from here, I could send this by email. I can click, you know, so if I click that, it pops the email, gets it going. I could make it an order had he given me an approval right from here. I could look, so maybe if they were trying to negotiate with me, I can see the statistics just like I was inside of NAV. So I have all the flexibility that comes from working in our traditional Windows client, all right within my Outlook. So people tend, particularly sales, customer service, tend to like to work with their Outlook. And so giving us this flexibility and the ability to move between various documents is something that has been a significant improvement. And so now if I pop back over to my nav and I open my quote, you see that that quantity is 20. I didn't have to hit refresh. I didn't do anything. I just entered the field and it automatically flowed over to nav. So it is a live link, real time. The other thing that we have, and actually I'm going to click back to this document view for a minute. When I pop this out, I can look at other details. So, you know, maybe as they're asking me questions, I have some questions about what else is going on with this particular customer. So if I click on the details button, I can see item availability. I can see what's going on. I could see what else is going on with this customer, different orders, different quotes. You know, maybe they've got a question on an invoice. And so I can bring this invoice up just as easily as I could the other documents. I can see the customer card. I could edit this invoice or view this invoice, all again right from Outlook. So it's giving us a much more robust, gives me the same warning that I would receive if I were in nav, all without losing my place. So I can move around, I can ask questions, and really be a lot more efficient as I interact with my customers via email, which all of us do every day. The next piece is, you know, just the opportunity so that if I get an email that doesn't maybe reference an existing sales quote, but they want a new sales quote or a new invoice, I can create a new order just by clicking that button, fires it up, and I'm ready to go. I could receive a payment. So if somebody sent me an electronic acknowledgement, I can update purchase invoices, credit memos, sales credit memos, again, all right from Outlook. So this is helping me really improve and not have to move between the systems as much as I used to formally. You know, in theory, there was a little bit of Outlook integration, but essentially you had to do all your work inside of NAV. And now you can really work in the client that you happen to be in, which in this case is Outlook. So I'm going to pause for just a moment and just see if there's any questions about anything I've shown right now. Angie, you have anything before I move over to NAV?
Not that has come through, no.
Okay, all right, good. So then the next piece of the puzzle, which was, this was also for those of you that might have tried to get the Outlook integration going, is that Microsoft has introduced assisted setup. And this was amazing. You know, I used to have to call our developers to get me rolling when a new version came out. And this time, all I had to do is I clicked on my setup email. In this case, it's telling me I already did it, but I want to show you just how simple it was. It walks you right through a wizard. So as long as you know your client, in this case, we're an Office 365 user. I certainly hope you are an Office 365 user. It finds my email demo account. I'm going to say send a test email. It'll ask me to who, and I'll send it to myself here in my demo account so that you guys can see that it comes through. And essentially it validates, says the email went out, and I'm done. And it is really just that simple. The same idea, so you can log your contacts inside of your email. You can set up your logging. I actually didn't turn this all the way on yet for this demo. But again, I'll start. It's a simple setup. So it walks you through the wizard. You need to know your email and your password, which, you know, if I set this up, just to think I got my password right. We'll find out. Yep. So it walks you right through, sets up the folders, sets up everything you need to do in order to store the email. And now this one will take a little bit, so I'm not going to do this right in the demo, but it walks you right through and then begins to have your email logging automatically. The next piece of the puzzle is what happens when I'm emailing documents. And I thought this was a really nice piece, particularly for those of you that are using the sales and marketing. So if I go back here and I look at my contacts, and we'll go find Mindy Martin. So when whoops, better look by name though, right? So I go grab Mindy Martin, and if I look at my interaction entries, so I could navigate from the screen or I could open the contact, but I can see every time I've emailed a quote, it automatically attaches that quote number so that anytime I'm emailing from NAV or from my Outlook, it's going to record those interactions with that contact. And then finally, and actually I should just close this for a minute. Right from the list, it'll pop an email automatically. So as long as my email's open, it'll bring that up. It'll also do the same thing with your Skype. So if you have a phone system, in this case we have Skype, but I want to dial, I can click that and my Office integration triggers that interaction as well. And so as you can see, Microsoft has spent a lot of time starting to make their Office products, and in this case, particularly Outlook, function much more effectively with the Dynamics NAV that we're using every day. And so then you can you see the email that tells me, you know, that I set up my account and it validates that it actually works. The other thing, finally, that Microsoft has done, but I can also check my tasks here. So if there were tasks that this email seems to think should happen, in this case, it's asking me, hey, I think you need to update this. And so there's an action item that would be added to your task list to tell you to update that quote if in fact you weren't already in your Outlook. So again, really nice functionality. We've been very excited, and particularly for those people that have been using Dynamics and want to be able to use the relationship management for CRM that's baked right in. The Outlook integration has been a bit of a challenge, and it's been one of the stumbling blocks that has kept users from adopting this as their end-to-end solution. And so we are really excited to see Microsoft roll out these improvements. And we hope that you've seen some things here that would help you take advantage of the enhanced Outlook integration with your Dynamics NAV. So like I said, this one's going to be short and sweet. I will open it up for questions. So if any of you have questions about the integration I'm shown, I'm happy to answer those now.
We do have a question, Tom. In interaction log entries, can I open that email?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. Let's take a quick look here. I think it's only going to link to the quote. Yeah, it's going to show, it just shows me that quote. Now, you know, the web parts, it seems to me that we could, I haven't done this, so I don't know for sure, but if Angie, if you'll take their name down, I will test and see if we could actually include the body of the email as part of that interaction. I just don't know that for a fact, so I don't want to tell you yes or no.
Okay, sounds good. We do have another one. This works for sales. Does it work the same way for the purchasing side?
It does. So if purchasing as long as the contact is in your database, then it would recognize if I said I was going to do a new purchase invoice or a purchase credit memo. Now, the worst thing that would happen is if it didn't recognize the contact, it would allow you to set up a new contact. So it would walk you through and ask you if you wanted to apply a template, and then you could set up a new AP contact right from Outlook as well. Other questions?
Not at this time. If anyone does, please feel free to type them in and we'll get them answered.
Okay. Well, we'll give it maybe a 5 count and then we'll wrap. So hopefully you found this sort of quick and informative. And certainly if you want any more detailed information, you can reach out to Angie or myself, and I'd be happy to try to follow up and give you any details that you might be interested in. Okay, well, everyone, thanks for joining us for this presentation. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Angie, any closing remarks?
Yes, we just want to let you know that it has been recorded, so you can come back to it and review or share it with anyone. That'll be on our website later this week at innovia.com. And don't forget to check out our events page on our website. We're always updating that. And next week we have Charge Logic that will be presenting their webinar on PCI, Validated Payment Processing Solutions. And then we have our customer conference that we will actually be leaving for as of tomorrow. So if you haven't already registered yet, please do so. And it's not too late. So our customer conference is in Wisconsin Dells at the Chula Vista Resort and Conference Center, and that's going to be April 18th and 19th. So it is a free event to attend, and we encourage you to come and meet all of the Innovia staff and our ISVs that will be presenting at our conference, and we hope to see you there. Thank you everyone for attending, and have a great day.
Thanks, Angie.